The World Cup has started, and that means that the latest nation has joined the, World Cup family. Papua New Guinea, or PNG.
This is the last knock. My dad refuses to tell me what this means.
They caught fire perfectly as a team just during the qualifiers, and they kind of swept up everyone and made it to this tournament. It was an incredible moment. And when you watch them and they're playing really good, they're just a captivating team. There's so much skill and energy and excitement to the way that they play. They also can have a lot of flair, but also be incredibly, dogmatic with sort of cricket fundamentals. Like at one point, Simon Atai was backing up at the non-strikers end, and he was as far out of his crease as he could be, but with his bat still in a squatter position so he could run forward, ensuring that he could not be man-catted, but he was also taking every single centimetre on offer to be closer to the other end. That's kind of how they play their cricket. It's a weird thing to explain, but with what cricketers now call the 1%ers, they're just so fundamentally sound at times. And you will hear in their few games of this World Cup, and if you watch the first one especially, that they'll be talking about how they're pretty much like a family. And compared to other teams, I think they are certainly closer than most international cricket teams. During the qualifiers in Dubai, I was out there, they seemed to travel as like a 15-man unit at all times when they were eating or sleeping or in the swimming pool or whatever they were doing. They just sort of seemed to always be together. The other two things you hear about them is how often they smile, although in the first game, probably slightly less than usual, and how much they love cricket. And I know this sounds weird, but the higher the level that you get in professional sport, the less people actually love it at the top level. Quite often they're just very good at it. It becomes a job, and they're, athletically predisposed to a certain sport, and they get very good at it, and they play it, and that's their job. They enjoy it because it's better than most other jobs, but they might also want to be a golfer or a footballer or a basketballer or whatever that may be. That's not the PNG team. They all absolutely love playing cricket. And there's little things about them that I really enjoy, like their caps. They don't wear T20 caps or one-day caps. They wear proper cricket caps, old school, with the rings around them, with lots of sweat on them, and probably way too hot for the conditions they're from, and also in Oman. And there's something about them that feels like a new team, but kind of old at heart. Of course, this particular game, though, was about as bad as it could get for them. They started by losing 2 wickets before they'd scored a run. In fact, their number 4 scored their first run. That's never a good sign. And to be honest, that wasn't one of the worst things that happened to them in this game. But it's worth focusing on that number 4, Charles C.J. Amini, an incredible all-round cricketer for PNG. He's a top-quality left-handed batter, and you could see him playing quite well in this innings. He's quite talented, but he's also quite clever the way he goes through the gears when he has to. A few years ago, he really struggled to score at a good rate, and now he has a little bit more power, and there's a couple of good hits in this innings as well. And it's also worth noting that the only time that PNG were actually actively in this game against Oman was when Charles Amini was batting. He can also bowl leg spin as well, although if you did watch this game, you may be forgiven for thinking not as much. But generally, he's a really good leg spinner. I would say he's a better bowler than he is a batter. He's been averaging 22 with an economy of 6.3. He's not a big spinner of the ball, but he's very straight and he's very accurate, and he can be quite clever when he wants to be. And importantly for PNG, he would walk into this side as a batter or a bowler. That's how good he is. And yet, as good as he is for these two skills, it's probably not what everyone knows him for. The minute he came out in the field, the ICC commentators could not stop going on about his fielding, because he is just one of the best fielders in the world. I don't know where he ranks, in the top 5, in the top 10, or the top 20, but to come from Papua New Guinea and be one of the best fielders in the world is just incredible. And it's not just him, it's them as a team. I've said before, they kind of move as a unit at times, and associate teams are actually fearful of the PNG ring fielders. And when they hit the ball out to the deep, again, they don't take twos a lot. Preston Momsen was saying on commentary that they think that their fielding's worth between 10 and 20 runs. It's incredible to watch them. It's like an old school South African ring. Googlies, quarter seamer, carom, dukes, back of the hand, red, leg cutters, teesra, pink, knuckle, white, slider, seed, heavy, bouncers, cherry, length, pill, off cutters, old, crimson traveller, kookaburra, hard, outswing, second new, off spin, arm, SG, split finger, shiny, leg spin, soft, new, yorkers, flippers, wrong-uns, long hops, reverse swing, half volley, and third new. These are just some of the names we use for balls in cricket. Well, Manscaped wants you to be as proud of your balls as you are of the ones delivered by your favourite cricketer. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer, 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Insert the code REDINKA at manscaped.com. I've actually used this, not just something that I'm hawking for fun, and I gotta admit, I thought it was a bit silly, and then I went down there, and it was exceptional. I honestly feel I could bowl outswing with one nut and inswing with the other. So get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code REDINKA at manscaped.com. Manscaped, for the man who cares about his balls as much as the ones out in the middle. In fact, talking about old school South African fielding, I saw them field in Dubai, and I promise you, every time they did fielding drills, I watched because they were so entertaining. It was like going back in time and watching Colin Bland. I remember one particular drill, they were all between about 25, 30 meters away from a stump, all around in a circle, and they just kept throwing at these stumps. But the problem is that they hit the stump over and over and over again. It meant that the drill had to be stopped about every 2 seconds. It was an absolutely pointless drill because they almost never miss. Even today, their batting was essentially two guys, and their bowling, well, never showed up at all, but their ground fielding just looked incredible, and the way that they moved together and in partnerships in the field, it's beautiful to watch. Of course, they did also drop a sitter, but it was one of those kinds of days for them. And I would honestly watch a supercut of Kipling Dorega just taking normal takes behind the stumps. What an elegant, beautiful moving wicketkeeper he is. But I think Amini really is the star of this team, and hopefully where Papua New Guinea cricket is going to move forward to. During those qualifiers in Dubai, I had a chance to have a bit of a chat to him, and my first question was, who's your agent? Who's representing you on the T20 scene? And he looked at me shocked, like it hadn't even occurred to him that he would need an agent. But he's a left-hander who can bat and bowl and field at an incredible rate. It makes sense. It's like he's a T20 franchise player built in a lab. But to have a cricketer with that much skill in every facet of the game, it's very rare that those players sort of happen on their own. And in Amini's case, that's not what happened. His grandfather, father, his mother, I think his auntie, and his brother all played cricket for Papua New Guinea. Sadly, his mother just passed away, but people have been talking about this incredible cricket family that he comes from. And it's such an important cricket family to PNG that they actually have an oval named after them. I mean, the Aminis are cricketing royalty in PNG. It's just that it was inside a cricket nation that most of us didn't even know kind of existed up until very recently. And it's not even the only family connection within this PNG side. Asad Vala, the captain, who top scored and went on to bowl even though he seemed to have rolled his ankle at one stage. He plays for Papua New Guinea, obviously, so does his wife. Just an incredible family connection. And weirdly, Vala is one of the few players who's not from Hanuabada village. Almost all the other players are, which is just a small place on the outskirts of Port Moresby. Hanuabada means big or biggest village. And it's this incredible cricket-loving place that most cricket fans don't know exists. And because of this village, this big or biggest village, they have a national team, almost from one tiny part of their country. It's an incredible story for them even to be here. And to think that they've taken cricket loving from one small region of Papua New Guinea and brought it all the way to the World Cup. It's a gift to cricket. And the term village is quite well known in cricket, of course, especially through England. Talking about village teams, it usually means, you know, you're not very good at cricket. That's not the case with Papua New Guinea. For them, village is not a slur. It's an honest reflection of where they have come from and what a journey they have made in such a short period of time. And now PNG are in the World Cup, and it started poorly for them, and their first game ended even worse. But they've still got a couple more games to go. But they are here, and I think that in itself is incredible for them and also for cricket. They're a team of cricketers that's more like a family, and in many ways, they're cricket's biggest village team.